our modern thinker, philosopher. We will start. So he is very important personality. He is Swami Vivekananda, a social reformer, a religious leader, thinker, youth leader. At very young age, at the age of 32 itself, he left this world. But in that short span of time, he contributed a lot to the society. And today we are going to discuss about the qualities which we learn from him, the values which we should not only incorporate, but also we should propagate the same. So let's see what all we have to learn from him. Swami Vivekananda. He was the important social reformer of 19th century. So he talks about role of education. Education, since ages we are talking about education, what kind of education is suitable and what kind of education is desirable. So let's see in the words of Swami Vivekananda. So he says that we want the education by which, observe the important words, we want the education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded. So he's talking about intellect as well, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. So there are three components. We will discuss it one by one. So when he's talking about education, he's emphasizing on character. Character means what? That if I am getting educated, if I have knowledge, it should be reflected in my character. And when he's mentioning about character, it means the values of empathy. Our character should symbolize the values of empathy, compassion, kindness, helping others, understanding others, that is empathy. So those values should be there in my character. Whatever knowledge I am getting, I should be able to refine my personality. Remember, we discussed in Sufism about inner refinement. That inner refinement will not happen only with knowledge, but knowledge should empower us in character building. Right? Strength of mind is increased. So character is important, because nowadays, if you relate the same with respect to the present education system, our present education system is information oriented. We are not being taught about values. We are not being taught about refinement of the personality. We are not being taught how to help others, reaching out to others when they are in need. Rather, our education system is making us more self-centric in nature. For us, employability for us, more a good job with good money for ourselves. So we are becoming individualistic in nature, materialistic in nature. So that way we should apply. And UPSC has dedicated one question in section 8 part. Usually it was question number 6, but this time they have shifted it. So you will find that one question will be there, and under that 3 subparts will be there, and they will give quotation, and they will ask you to decode it and write. What do you understand by this quotation and relevance of this quotation? This is what exactly we are doing. We are decoding this quotation and we are learning that, okay, this character is formed, why it is relevant today. So we related it with the present system, present education system. So related that how it is applicable in the present setup. Okay. Hope you guys are understanding that how to decode a quotation based question. We will discuss it in detail, then further you will be able to understand it. Second component he is talking is about strength of mind is increased. Why this is important? Education should help us with knowledge. It should help us with coming up with ideas to solve our problems. It should make us strong. And when we will become strong, when we will have knowledge, when we know how to find solution. Otherwise, if we don't have these capabilities, we will easily slip into depression. We will easily slip into, nowadays the students are committing suicide if they are getting failed. Two days back only, I was reading newspaper when UPSC results were announced, final results, and there was a student in Nagpur who was unable to qualify this exam or crack this exam from many years. And because of this, he committed suicide. You all must have seen a movie by Sushant Singh Rajput when he was portraying as a father and his son committed suicide after class 12 because he was unable to qualify IIT exam. So this rote learning, this race of clearing the competition is not the real objective of education. It should be able to give strength to our mind that okay, even if I am not able to qualify this exam, I will do something for my betterment. I will use that knowledge for the betterment of myself and betterment of the society. So we should not get swept away by fear, uncertainty, failures. You know what APJ Abdul Kalam says about fail? FAIL, first attempt in learning. So this is what we should also follow, first attempt in learning. Okay. Next, the intellect is expanded. Intellect is expanded. What is the meaning of intellect is expanded? Sometimes when we lack knowledge, we will think limited. We will not think beyond horizon. We will not be able to think out of box because our knowledge is limited. We won't be able to apply. Sometimes when there is lack of knowledge, superstition or the religious dogmas or rituals, they will fill the gap. So that's why we need to expand our intellect. This is important because otherwise irrationality will creep in. We will be not rational, right? So this is what he is telling. And these we have already discussed why they are relevant today. They are relevant today because you can fit it anywhere. You must have come across the value degradation which is happening in the present education system among the students, boys locker room. So read about it. BOIS, boys locker room. There were a group of boys who created a private chat room and they used to discuss bad things about girls, women, derogatory things, derogatory remarks. You must have come across that how in present education system students are not learning the values. I think 2 days back only I was reading a newspaper. There I read that 16-year-old boy killed his mother over PUBG game. Is it a strength of mind? Is it character? It is character building. What education is empowering? Is education empowering him in the right way? No. So this is why education is important. And this is the real meaning of education. Our education system is definitely teaching us about our rights. We are very vocal about our rights in present setup, but we don't know how to fulfill our duties. We are always demanding our rights, but we whenever it comes to fulfill our duties, we will step back. But our constitution says that we should fulfill our duties. We have fundamental duties. Do we have courage to follow that? Is our education system empowering us to follow that? No. Okay. So this is how you have to relate and learn the application aspect of whatever we are discussing here. Hope you guys are making your notes. Whatever I am taking, every single word is very important. So do make notes so that while revision you will be able to know that what to do, what not to do. Value humanity. So here I am going to tell you a very good story from Swami Vivekananda's life about humanity, what he says, what he feels, what he experienced. So once upon a time he was traveling in Rajasthan and he was sitting on a railway station in Rajasthan and people started coming to meet him. At that time he was meeting people and they used to discuss, people were coming and going and they were meeting. So like this 2 days passed like this only. And he didn't eat anything, no food, no water. By seeing this, a cobbler who was observing him from 2 days, he was moved by it and he offered food and water to him. From 2 days you have not eaten food, have some food and water. Swami Vivekananda readily accepted it. He readily accepted it. He didn't refuse. Why? Because he was hungry, definitely. And that time he didn't ask about that person's caste, religion, region, nothing. But the moment he was eating food and he accepted the food, few people came. Why did you accept it? Why did you accept the food? He belongs to untouchable community. He's a cobbler. You should have not accepted it. Then you know what Swami Vivekananda told those guys? He told, you guys claim that you are from rich, upper caste, higher caste, rich caste. But where were you guys when I was hungry from 2 days? You guys were coming and meeting and you were discussing the issues, but none of you offered any food or water. But now when he's offering, you guys are asking me to stop it. Why? Why you are seeing his caste, religion, region? Why you are not seeing his action? So this is what he is saying, that we should always value humanity. We should not value or discriminate anyone on the basis of caste, religion, region, sex, or for that matter, any form of discrimination he didn't support. And thus he says that the character of a person is defined by his actions. Our actions define who we are, what we do, what we think, what is our attitude, what is our value system. So the character of a person is defined by his actions, not by his caste, religion or economic status. Okay? Understanding? And thus he says that greatest religion is to be true to our own nature. Why it is important in present setup? We are fighting over religion. Is it our true nature? We are not showing the character. We are not reflecting right action. People are still fighting over intercaste marriages, intercaste dining. Khap panchayats are still existing. Exploitation of people from weaker section, Dalit incidents, Una incident is there. We still end up with communal tensions. Godhra, Muzaffarnagar riots, Dadri lynching, very recently Jahangir Puri incidents. Is it required? And that too when we say that we are civilized, we have evolved, we are evolving with science, technology, we are becoming modern with education. Is it required in the present setup? No. But still, even after knowing all these things, we have our philosophers and thinkers to guide us from so many years. Still, we are in the same vicious cycle of exploitation, tensions, differences, divide and rule. We are dividing. The fragmentation of society is happening on the basis of caste, religion, different types of hierarchies. So you have to apply like this. Next is talking about courage. So there is again very important and very good a story around courage. So once Swami Vivekananda visited Varanasi, he was visiting some temple there, and as soon as he was approaching that temple, the monkeys, they saw him and they started like chasing him, and he started running. Out of fear, he started running. So the moment he started running, they further started chasing him. So when this was happening, there was an old woman. He sees that she sees that, okay, Swami Vivekananda is running like this. She asks him, why are you running? So he says that because these monkeys are chasing me. So she says that no, just stop and face them, turn around and face them, they will go back. Don't run like this. So he did so, and literally those monkeys, they went back. By seeing this or by doing this act, he thanked that woman, but he derived a moral learning from this. And he says that if you ever feel afraid of anything, always turn around and face it. Never think of running away. Right? So don't you think this is important for us, the students community, the aspirant community? Don't you think this is important for a society which is in transition, which is evolving? We face a lot of challenges, lot of problems will be there, but still we have to face it. Sometimes as a civil servant, we will be very adamant. We will face a lot of challenges, lot of problems when we will join the services. Our seniors will ask us to manipulate data, they will ask us to hide truth, but we have to show our courage of conviction. We have to stand with truth. We should not yield to such pressure. We should not succumb to such pressures. That's why this learning is very important. The story which I was mentioning, that a poor boy from Nagpur, he committed suicide. Is it required? No, we should find our own way. We get so much of knowledge after preparing for this exam that we can do anything. So why to commit suicide? We have better work to do. We should find meaning of our life. Like in Bhagavad Gita, it was mentioned. Okay? So always remember this. This is for our inspiration as well. Next, he says, talks about service. So I have already mentioned earlier as well. Service to Jiva is worship to Shiva. This is what he believes in. He says that God is present in every Jiva. There is no other God besides that. So who serves that Jiva serves God indeed. So that is the devotion. We have also discussed about Guru Nanak Dev, what kind of service he believed into. He says that service is everything. God resides with poor people. So whenever you are seeking God, you serve people, poor people, help them in coming out of vicious cycle. That's why, inspired by the Sikh people, they have this practice of langar. So if you were following the Rohingyas news, when they migrated to within Indian borders, we were talking about sending them back. Whole India, media, everybody was talking about send them back. But people from Sikh community, they organized langar for them. They organized langar, they offered food because they could empathize, they had compassion with, they were compassionate and they could sense the problem, the pain of those people. So they organized langar, food, they provided food to them. Okay, fine, the solution or whatever problem is going on, that will happen, the political or the tension between countries, it will be resolved, but in the meantime, you should have some food, basic necessity. So this is how we have to relate our learning with the current affairs or application in the society. Even Swami Vivekananda, he never hesitated to offer his service. Even during plague time, he used to go and feed people. That was his compassion, that was his empathy and service orientation. Why this is important for a civil servant? Why it is important for you, me, and when you will become a civil servant tomorrow? Because when we join the services, we should have service orientation. We are joining the services not for ourselves, not for our status, power, as an IAS, IPS, IRS or foreign service, forest service, whatever service. It is not only for our status. It is there. We are joining this because we have to serve the society. That is the constitutional value which we have to carry with us and for which we should dedicate our life. And that is the purpose of education. So if some of you have already attempted my ethics full course or crash course, there we discuss about that how education, in unit 1, we discuss that how education plays important role in shaping our values, how society plays important role in shaping our ethics, right? So this is how we should able to relate the learnings. Next, he's talking about unity of mankind. So in 1893, he was on a religious tour and he went to America, and 1893 Chicago, World Parliament of Religion. When he started his speech, he started with the lines, "My brothers and sisters of America." That is unity of mankind. He was there definitely on to attend a religious parliament, but it was not because that he wanted to divide the world on the name of religion. Rather, he was inviting everyone, come and visit India. It is a land of spiritual knowledge, spiritual growth, spiritual refinement. So the opening line itself symbolizes, it tells us about his values of unity of mankind. Even Sufism or Bhakti movement, universal brotherhood, or even Bhakti movement, Guru Nanak Dev, everybody talks about unity of mankind. Even Guru Nanak Dev mentioned that consider human race as one. Manas sabki jaat ek hai. So unity of mankind we have already seen. If we have to apply this learning, why it is important? COVID-19 has proved it. When the whole world was suffering and was under this COVID-19 impact was their pandemic, that time we were not thinking who is superpower, USA, Russia, whether we have missiles or not, whether I have all the power, money, resources or not. That time we were only worried and bothered about humanity, mankind, lives. Countries were making vaccines, they were offering. Even India offered whatever resources they could to USA. In true sense, those 2 years we were focusing only on mankind, humanity, unity of mankind. Because that time we had that fear that we might lose our life. So why to wait for that moment? Pandemic, why any pandemic should make us realize that unity of mankind is important? Why we are not learning from these philosophers? We are not learning from the thinkers? Why we are not realizing that we have a short lifespan on this earth and we should dedicate it for a cause, for a purpose? Whenever we become a civil servant, we indulge ourselves in accumulation of resources, wealth, corruption. Why don't we dedicate ourselves for the welfare of people? Why do we focus on our welfare? Okay, so these are the 5 points, 5 values which are very important. Also, there are certain quotations which will tell us about different values. 6th point would be, you are the creator of your own destiny. So this is a quotation which we can directly use in essay, ethics, our answers, case studies. So you are the creator of your own destiny. As a civil servant, you will go, we will enter these services, and at that time it will happen that we have to face a lot of problems, challenges. That time these quotations, they will guide us that we are the creator of our own destiny. We should not get affected by these difficult problems, challenges, or the problems which has been, pressure which has been created by the politicians or our seniors. Even as a student, for an individual, for society, for civil servant, whatever role or responsibility we are into, there this quotation will fit. We are the creator of our own destiny, right? So think like this, use like this. Next quote, which is again very important, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of, this is, our thoughts have made us. So take care of about what you think, because words are secondary. Thoughts live and they travel far. So please note it down in your notes, whatever notes you are preparing, because after this there is no need to collect extra quotations. If you know them, then only note it down, because having these and thinking how to use, where to use is only required. So what is here Swami Vivekananda is talking about? He is saying that we should be very careful of our thoughts, because our thoughts, they make us. They only, what we are today is because of our thoughts. So we have to be very careful. Words are secondary, but what we think, they travel very far. So if some of you have attended my ethics crash course or full course, in the first unit we talk about Gandhiji, how he says that our belief becomes our thoughts becomes our words become our action becomes our habit, and our habits become our destiny. So this is very important. We have to be very alert what we are thinking, what kind of energy we are generating. So I also mentioned about emotions the other day when we were discussing about Buddhism, Jainism, about emotions. And I asked you to go through my video on YouTube about emotions, emotional intelligence, previous year questions. So what we feel, the same we radiate. Be it words, thoughts, and emotions or beliefs. The same we will radiate. If we are thinking and feeling positive, positive energy will be radiated. If we have love, like our Guru Nanak Dev, he was having love and kindness in his eyes. So when Kauda sees him, he was broken. He started crying because his eyes were radiating love, not fear, not hatredness. So are you understanding that why it is important? Whenever we see anything, words can definitely hurt someone. But ideas, they will be forever. So be careful with any idea which we are thinking or which we are extrapolating. Next, this especially I have kept this one for our motivation. Personally, I am very inspired by this one. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So since my graduation days, I am very inspired. Whenever I go for any exam or whenever I prepare in a day, whenever I feel low, this quotation gives me a lot of energy. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So I've kept this one especially for you guys.